appointed ambassador at large.
Right. Okay. So you're taking this that it's Mnangagwa who is being duped. It's Mnangagwa who is being looted here than the other way around. So unlike the senders, the Westerners, who used to employ preachers to poison the African people with twisted Bible verses, in this case, Mnangagwa is the one Arkuvarwa.
Yeah. I mean, if the Westerners were sending preachers
Go ahead, please.
okay, well, if the Westerners
It's
were
just
sending
playing on the screen.
preachers,
Just go ahead.
if the Westerners were sending preachers to brainwash the blacks for the purposes of exploiting the blacks, then of course the one who is doing the conning is the smart one, and the one who is being conned is the victim and is not so smart. And in this particular case, who conned who? Uebert Angel or Mnangagwa to appoint Uebert Angel ambassador at large. That is an incredibly powerful position, and you appoint him to somebody who is really you think is worth it. And so therefore then Mnangagwa must have been conned into believing that Uebert Angel was somebody special. And now they stand out to he is just a conman, a third grade conman for that matter. He's not so smart at all. I mean, some of the schemes he was talking about there, you say to yourself, I can't believe this,
But Uebert, someone would come and say to you, Mnangagwa was the one who was behind that whole process there. He is the one who actually sent Uebert to fool the people, to get investments, to sell off Victoria Falls. So in this case, Mnangagwa is not losing anything because he likes foolish idiots. He likes to use people like Uebert. So he's winning one way or the other. That's what other people would say there.
Well, there's no doubt, Simba, that the incident that was proposed in in the Al Jazeera documentary did not come to fruition. But I would not put it beyond their relationship between Uebert Angel and Mnangagwa, that they had done a similar arrangement. So if we look at that arrangement that was being proposed in the documentary, who was going to really gain there? Somebody was trying to launder money. Yeah. 2 billion US dollars. Yes, Mnangagwa was benefiting from it, but we as a country, we were losing from it because there's no doubt that when you start dealing with these crooks, invariably they shortchange you again and again and again. So the individual himself, Mnangagwa, yes, he may have gained money just as much as in the smuggling of gold. Mnangagwa, there's no doubt that he made a lot of money. But as a country, we lost billions of dollars because of that, of the looting. Some of those people, those gold mafia guys, they're incredibly rich. And I mean, you followed it, Simba, yourself in the documentary, how much they would say, oh, I have brought into the country X million US dollars and only bring in a fraction and keep the balance themselves. They get paid 18% or whatever percentage had been agreed with them, their percentage, for something that they have not delivered. Or they would say they are going to export 50 kgs of gold. And they make, instead of making one trip, they make several trips, in which they end up taking as much as 2-3 times that amount of gold. And the country thinks, oh, they have only taken 50 kgs, whereas in reality it's taken 150 kgs. Because nothing is properly documented. Who is being shortchanged there? Even he himself, whoever is getting the share of the looting, if you believe that your share is 10%, you get 10% of 50 kgs, whereas in reality, what is exported is 150 kgs. So you are being shortchanged. Corruption does not benefit anyone except the guys at the top. And in this particular case, to say that Mnangagwa was benefiting, I think we are being naive, to say the least.
You think that he wasn't? You would think Mnangagwa wasn't benefiting at all. But let's come to this video, Uebert, issue. Uebert Mudzanire, he is exposed as far back as April. I mean, the last documentary, sorry, the final part 4 was is a while ago. Now, Uebert, after all this, okay, we have several weeks. The YouTube account is functioning, and then suddenly during this week, it was me. Maybe there are other people who spotted it, but I spotted it during the week that the YouTube account has been terminated. Robert, why do you think the account has been terminated? And you can see on the screen there an announcement that says it's been terminated. Do you think that the YouTube company is the one that terminated it, or it is the man himself?
I think your guess will be as good as mine, but the
I hope you can hear me, Wilbert.
Sorry?
I hope you can hear me. I asked you,
I can
who do you
hear
think
you,
who do you think has terminated the account? Is it Uebert himself? Okay, who's done it, or it's the YouTube account, it's the YouTube company that has done it? Trying to decipher here what on earth could be happening, and the man is so secretive. So I don't know saka ndozoti ndiani adzima akaunti iyo yamuprofita akaunti yeambassador etiraji yadzimwa nani?
Well, I think it could be either Uebert himself realizing.
I'm hoping that you can hear me, Wilbert, because you seem to be blacking out.
No, I can hear you. I don't know why you can't hear me.
Okay, go ahead, yeah, please.
Yeah, what I'm saying.
So who is it that has that is suddenly switched the lights off on Ubert's YouTube account? In your view, here is it the YouTube company, or it's Uebert Angel himself, or maybe perhaps also option 3? Could it not be a hacker? Could it not be someone who actually hacked YouTube account, Ubert's YouTube account? And let's not forget, Wilbert, this is at a time when Uebert has announced that he is going to get a big, huge payout. He has claimed that he's going to sue, or he sued Al Jazeera, and he's going to walk away with a lot of money, just as far as last week. So as late as last week that he announced this, that in his claim, he's going to get paid. And then all of a sudden, his YouTube account, the fuse is blown off.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly. Shoot.
Yeah. Well, in this particular case, what we saw in that clip, I would say if somebody was to carry out a really thorough investigation, they may find there was something fishy in those miracle monies. And in this case here, tracing it would be very easy. And if I was Uebert Angel, but the minute he realized that this could be another thing to answer for, the best thing to do is, pull the plug, you know, close the account completely. And if he could wipe it out, he would wipe it out. That would be my first guess. Is it possible that YouTube, the owners themselves, pulled the plug? I would say it's possible too. If the minute they realize which is this person who has been holding this account is now under serious criminal investigation for fraud and other serious crimes, that is not the sort of person you would want on your site. So closing that account would also make sense. So they are those two possibilities. But if it's him who tried to close it, I'm sure that if anyone wanted to investigate it, YouTube would gladly oblige and give them the saved copies of those YouTube's recordings. And so the issue may be for an ordinary investigator like yourself, Simba, may find it very difficult to get access to it. But if somebody really wanted a serious investigation into it, say, for instance, the UK police, since he is a UK citizen, were to ask YouTube to supply them the videos, I'm sure they would supply them. You know, you will not be able to delete the main server itself. He may have closed the account so that you can't access it from here, but at the main server itself, I'm sure they probably have got somewhere where they've saved those files, so they can easily recover it. Are you still there, Simba? Well, there is somebody there. I think most of the readers out there can read what Brixton is saying there.
Absolutely. Yeah, so Brixton is suggesting that it's possibly YouTube that terminated the account. Brixton, do you want to come in and comment? You're probably right, because I also looked at that message, and my belief is that it is YouTube that terminated, because it says terminated. It doesn't say account closed, because I know when someone closes an account, how it looks like. I could try, actually, Wilbert, I could try to close an account. I've got several accounts. I could YouTube, so I could try to close an account and just simulate how it would look like. And I'm quite sure that an account that has been shut by the owner would read that the account has been closed. This one here seems to have been terminated. I mean, I would find it not. I mean, it just doesn't make sense for money sense. Excuse me, for Uber to terminate an account that has got over 500,000 followers. The Hubert that we know, who seems to have a desire for money and control of the masses, would not terminate his account. I don't think so. It seems to me that termination means YouTube itself is the one that terminated the account.
Well, it will make a lot of sense, Simba. You know, in this particular case, I think the latest video on YouTube that I saw of Uebert Angel, he was claiming, I think that was the one where he was claiming that he's going to sue Al Jazeera for millions of dollars, and was posting about it. I think as a service provider, is that the kind of client you would want on your site? The answer is going to be no. Here is somebody who is definitely a conman, and allowing him to continue.
But it doesn't make sense, Hubert. When investigations have started, you have tolerated, YouTube has tolerated his account. They've allowed him to operate for over 10 years. Now, when the investigation starts, they shut his account. That doesn't make sense. If I was an MP or someone in authority, I would take YouTube to account. I would bring them under investigation because they received numerous complaints and they were even heeding to so many, they were facilitating his fraud. They themselves were doing it. So I don't get it.
Well, if they were having complaints that that site was being used for fraudulent activities, that is now their response. We closed the account. But in
I
this
don't think so,
particular case,
Ubet.
do they
I was
normally?
hold me. I myself was one of those people who reported Ubit about 6 years ago. YouTube was facilitating this man. I even have numerous times of correspondence. I feel that if anything has happened here, maybe someone just made a change of mind or something, because the manner in which the license with which Ubit was operating definitely had some sort of facilitation from inside. So if there's now a change of policy, this is all of a sudden, and I would want to know why. My belief is that maybe because there's a parliamentary here, there are some parliamentary hearings around Ubit. The focus now is to ensure that they are scot free. So when they are asked, then at least then they could justify why and how things are where they are. That's just my thinking.
Yeah, no, I think we are now into the realms of speculation here. But
I don't know if you
personally,
heard me there.
sorry, can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly now. Go ahead here.
Okay, what I was saying is we are now in the realms of speculation, because I don't know whether
Right.
the terms of and conditions of YouTube is that they will also monitor whatever you post, as long as it is not blatantly criminal. They'll let it go. So in this particular case, that probably is the reason why. I mean, you did show similar videos of some of the other uh, men of God, as they call themselves, performing similar miracles and so forth, and that as they are still on YouTube, I should imagine. So in this particular case, I think it's similarly. They would have probably allowed this to happen. But when they realize this is now somebody who has committed quite serious fraudulent activities, money laundering, and so forth. Maybe that's when they decided, well, okay, maybe we need to close this account. That would be my personal guess, and I'll agree with what Buxton is saying there, that it looks like it is the owners of YouTube themselves who have closed it. But in this case here, if there's an official investigation, they can still access, go to YouTube and access those files. Because I think there is something fraudulent in that. I think earlier on when we started this program, we're talking of how some people are incredibly gullible. When somebody starts producing miracle money, you have to raise your eyebrows. This is against all the laws of thermodynamics, the rules that we know.
To those who are coming in right now, well, you're just reminding me here of that man who claims that he's invented an aeroplane, a helicopter which flies forever, and a car that drives forever without refueling, a TV that operates on never-ending electricity, and people actually believe him. The government believes in him. ZBC believe in him. And many of the Zimbabwean people believe in him simply because he said that he has been poisoned. He says that he has been poisoned, and the Western governments, the Western businesses, they're after him. They'll kill him very soon because one of his friends was poisoned. So Maxwell Chikumbuso says that, and he's also a Uebert Angel believer and a Uebert Angel follower who wants Uebert to occupy an even more senior position. And a lot of the Zimbabweans, you'll be shocked here, on this stream actually believe in Maxwell Chikumbutso, a man who uses scriptures and all that to say that he's got some inventions of his that are believed by some American fiction movie writers. Sorry, I just got distracted here by when you talk about the law of thermodynamics and all that. So I just thought that, oh yes, now we actually have another case here of real miracle science, as it.
Well, I mean, I think if I was the owner of YouTube, I would also say if somebody was to record that and record it on YouTube,
I don't know.
it will not be for me to really follow it up and delete it and so forth. If somebody's so gullible to believe it, that kind of thing, that is their problem. There are some things that you can say, okay, maybe this is, I think some of the things that, for instance, the example that was given during COVID, when some people started coming up with all kinds of claims that this or that can cure COVID without any scientific backing at all. That, I would say, that is dangerous. They are putting the lives of many people at risk because a lot of people will believe that and start following that, and they will end up spreading the virus far and wide, and many people will unnecessarily die. So that kind of video, I would say, yes, you should follow it up and delete it, and not allow it to circulate on your platform. So by the same token, if somebody believes in miracle money, and they are gullible to believe it, that is really their problem. Somebody has got to be smart enough to know that simply doesn't happen in this side of the grave, So, but if they want to believe it, let them
Miracle
believe it.
electricity.
Yeah, exactly. And this
I was saying
perpetual motion, helicopter, car, television. Forget it.
you don't, Robert. You don't believe that we've got an inventor called Maxwell Chikumbutso who was poisoned. Huh?
I remember. I think at one point you called me about it. Actually, about and I told you that is simply defying all the rules of thermodynamics, and I don't believe in it. And I think as a nation we have become too gullible Remember, there was also the case of.
Well, Wilbert, the people who are listening right now, okay, they believe in Maxwell Chikumbutsu. We've got over 100 people here listening, right, on both Twitter and on video. They believe in Maxwell Chikumbutsu, like literally, mate, and
Well, they're welcome to
and
believe in
they're
him.
so
You know,
yeah,
just as much as
yeah.
I'm saying that I don't believe in him. You know, but if they choose to believe in him, that's fine. I don't think they'll be doing anything dangerous by believing in him, in the sense that um, they're not going to find themselves flying out in a car or flying in a plane and expect it to stay in the sky forever. You know, no plane would. Well, he says he's invented that plane. I haven't seen it, but if they see
He
it
showed,
and
he showed the plane. He showed
that's
the helicopter in 2015. He was on the SABC and he actually showed the helicopter, mate, and the car, and the blue car. He was on video, mate. You know, I know that was 2015. We're in 2023 now. How many years is it? 8 years? And a lot of Zimbabweans actually believe that he's true, that he is a true scientist and a true inventor. So, so, but you know, Wilbert, while we're on that, I I want to say that I have been, we have been to Max Ochikombota's house, and we saw him, we caught him using Zesa power. Okay, right? And look, but by the way, but this is not to disrespect the Zimbabweans who believe that Max Ochikomboto is a true inventor. But we did see cables of electricity flowing with power from from the grid into Maxo Chikumbutso's house, not the other way around, because we would have expected Maxo Chikumbutso to be supplying Zesa, right? Not- but Wilbert, in conclusion, let's get to end here, right? Zimbabwe is 8 years later, Wilbert. We've got a prophet who generates money. We've got one of his followers who generates free electricity. So the prophet generates free money, claims he generates free money. He runs his YouTube account for over 10 years. He gets to amass over 500,000 followers. He becomes the ambassador at large. We've got one of his followers who generates free electricity, or says he does, and Zimbabweans believe in him, and for over 8 years continues, and he is successful in what he says. What do we say about Zimbabwe, Wilbert? Let's get to end here. What could you conclude around this, Wilbert?
Well, I mean, to be quite honest, when it's a private individual who believes in that, you know, I just shrug my shoulders. You know, it's up to you if you want to believe that kind of thing. But when it becomes the head of state who believes in somebody like that, that is a matter of really serious
Hanzi siya
concern.
naye namunangagwa chimbovazorodzai.
Well, in this particular case, let's be honest. You know, if we have got somebody who is in State House who believes in somebody like Uebert Angel, it now comes to be a serious international embarrassment. What does it say about the country's leaders? That is what concerns me. And I think it should concern every thinking Zimbabwean out there. Zimbabwe is now a laughing stock. We cannot deny that. This Al Jazeera documentary has shown that Zimbabweans are incredibly naive and incredibly gullible and incredibly corrupt. And this is not just individuals. This has permeated into all sections of society, including those in high office. That is something to worry about. The mafia, if you look at countries like the US in the 1930s, they had the problems of the mafia there as well. But the difference is the mafia were a totally different entity. Yes, they bribed officials like the police, judges, and even politicians. But when you have got institutions like the police, the army, the security at the airport, and so forth, being run by people who are already on the pay, under being paid by the mafia. And in this particular case, the mafia bosses themselves are relying on the president of the country as their main protection. That's when you realize you are in serious trouble. Because how are you going to get rid of the corruption if those who are responsible for making the laws are themselves become so corrupt, they are now part of the mafia? In fact, they are the godfathers of the mafia operations. This is what should concern us. I think earlier on you were saying that Uebert Angel is still has got his ambassador at large appointment, although those in authority assured us that it will be taken away. I won't be surprised that it has not been taken away. This is how corrupt the system has become in Zimbabwe. We all know that, for instance, one of the person who was named in that Al Jazeera documentary, Rushwaya, was arrested at the airport with gold, 6 kgs or something like that. And then the whole thing was just quashed. The next thing we hear is that, oh, there's no evidence. What happened to the gold? This is how corrupt the system is. And for those who have maybe forgotten, this woman, Rushwaya, is the niece of President Mnangagwa. And now she is running one of the key gold mining companies there in Zimbabwe. This is how bad the situation has become in Zimbabwe. We are losing billions of dollars in gold looting alone. What more about diamonds? There's been articles circulating in the social media about looting of lithium by the army. Zimbabweans are some of the most poorest people on earth, and yet we are losing hand over fist because of looting. This is how serious the problem is. Are you still there, Simba?
Well, Wilbert, I don't know why I can't hear you, but I'll just read a few comments here. Libet Zengwe says, Kuzonyebera vanhu. Hanzi, God told me money is coming. I was wondering where the money is coming from. Hanzi, they will pay me for defamation of character. Angel is a conman. And then someone says, Hanzi, after Rushwaya was her driver as well. Erisha M says, let's not hide behind our fingers. Zimbabweans have known that Mnangagwa is a thief and a godfather of corruption for years. Mugabe knew that he was a pedophile. A pedophile. Munsawashe says, guys, what are the chances of winning the case? Which case, by the way? Please let me know which case that you mean there. And someone is saying him and his church should never be allowed on YouTube again. Anzano akade hafanira kutendera pa YouTube ever again. Vanhu vanoita zvechiprofita zvana Uebert izvizvi. What about Maxwell Chikumbutso, who lies that he's created electricity, endless electricity? You Zimbabweans, you believe in that fella? you also believe in that fella? Isn't he equally poisonous? You've taken helped to take down Ubert's account. What about his follower, Maxwell Chikumbutso, who says that he's generated endless electricity? Eh? Folks, eh? No Zimbabweans. What about we say? And then what about also, because you've also got to be comprehensive to this. What about Hopo Chingono? Ndrungopa an example here, who generates a lot of lies that are damaging to your society, who tells you that your leader in the opposition never came out to tell people to go and register to vote, who tells lies including that in Murewa there's no opposition presence within days of elderly people being assaulted, and a man also who has done money laundering in the UK, well known for having done that and changed his name multiple names, multiple times, and then comes back to tell you that because I'm a journalist, so you can't ask me questions, you can't criticize me. What about people like that? Yeah? Who you clearly know that they've committed crime. I mean, literally, hope. By the way, Wilbert, the same level and even worse, right? The same level of money laundering and perhaps even worse, the Uebert Angel, Hopo Chingono has done that. And a lot of Zimbabweans in the UK, they know who Hopo Chingono is. A man who even changed his own name numerous times. Where are you going to tolerate that as well, Zimbabweans? You're gonna okay, so you're gonna say, all right, top VCs are yeah, Uebert. Top VCs are yeah, so and so. You near TB Joshua. What about someone who confuses people, who generates fake news, like literally sits there and spends the next 2 years poisoning people, confusing people, and then says that you can't criticize him because I'm a journalist. And by the way, Wilbert, one of the things that I'll tell you that I find Hopo Chingono such a danger to society is how you remember the 40,000, the 40K payments, remember? He claims that the
Yeah.
MPs were bribed. Wilbert, you know that for over 4 years, I traveled around the world, particularly in Europe here, chasing Jacob Mudenda, chasing the Parliament of Zimbabwe over those payments. Do you remember?
The payments, remember, they were done late last year, Kasiba.
Yes, but what I'm saying is, do you remember that I actually spent?
Yeah,
The
yeah,
payments
I
were
remember. I remember the
they
interview
were
you
with
had with
yeah,
Jacob
they were
Mudenda.
withheld. They were withheld. Yes, they were withheld from the MPs, and the MPs were starved. They've been underpaid. I mean, as a whole, both opposition and ZANU-PF. And on top of that, Nelson Chamisa's MPs have been starved, even further starved. And the issue of the 40K is why I endangered myself for more than 3 years, for 4 years, chasing Jacob Mudenda for. And I even exposed the Speaker of Parliament. And then someone pops out, Wilbert, claims a month after I had even announced those 40K payments. He pops out to claim that Nelson Chamisa's MPs have been bribed and they are corrupt, and gets people to actually hate the opposition over such fake news, which is so easily verifiable, but has got that capacity to poison the public like that and make the opposition to be hated. And these are opposition leaders, Wilbert, who have suffered perhaps the worst brutality on earth. So what about someone like that who has done money laundering in the UK? People know that even that house that he bought in Chisipiti, he bought it from proceeds of crime, under which he claims that recently that he got that money from a loan of a sports car that he claims he had in 1996, which was not even possible. He can't even name that company or bank that gave him that money, and people believe such an individual. So how to steal from the masses and large like that. And then they create a shield so that they are never criticized using social media. And also using victimhood, claiming that, like in this case, Maxwell Chukumbutso will say, I've been poisoned and the government is after me. Hopewell will say, I was arrested. So you can't criticize me. I'm an international figure. Like, remember that tweet, Robert? I'm an international figure. Me and Tsitsi are international figures. Anyway, Robert, let's get some people to comment here, and then we'll call it a night.
Okay.
We've got Zimbabwe freedom of expression. Tabo Makiana. Good evening, Tabo.
Hello, sir. How are you?
All right. Thank you. Good to have you tonight. Yeah, as you can see, Ubert's account has been deleted. Terminated. The right word is terminated. Who do you think has done this? Is it Uebert himself, or is the YouTube company that has done it?
Honestly, I don't know who's done it. But to think that he would have done it to himself, I don't think he's the kind of person to do that to himself. The person who I think, or the people who I think did it, I think is YouTube. Because YouTube is an American company and they answer to America most. So if America is going to turn down to YouTube and this has been happening, and this account is doing more than likely they're going to do it. Not likely to leave it.
Okay, but where were they? Where were they for over 10 years? These things were being posted for over 10 years.
Yeah, but sometimes when there is insurmountable evidence, there is nothing that anyone can do but just, turn around and say, well, there's insurmountable evidence. This will obviously fly in the face of what Uebert said when he was in London, when he was interviewed by the Bloomberg News, where he turned around and said that it's a documentary, but there's no evidence. So I would really like to believe it's the Americans that have done it. I would like to go along that line of things. I seriously don't think, because that's where you're going to get money from.
Right. Wow. So yeah, you just mentioned the issue of Mtuling Nube as well. Yeah, but you also have the video of Uebert just last week saying that he's going to get litigation money from you from Al Jazeera. What are your thoughts there? Don't you think possibly Uebert genuinely believes that he's going to get some money? He's going to win a lawsuit against Al Jazeera, and maybe then he decides to delete the account, maybe so that he can bolster his case and then win this money that he says that he's going to win against Al Jazeera.
If it was him that tried to do that to the account, a court of law, if a court goes to YouTube, just like if a court goes to Twitter, they can retrieve every single video,
Right.
every single audio. That is a fact.
Right.
Even if it is not a recorded space. So there is absolutely no chance of there being a situation where that's not going to happen. I know for sure that I've had videos deleted on my YouTube account, and then I think I completely removed them, and then sometime later I go back to it, and I just see it popping up again. So, or even unrecorded Twitter spaces, and then all of a sudden I can go back and then get them sent to me the background.
So reasons for YouTube account termination. I'm just checking here. Can you hear me?
But I wanted to comment on Henrietta Rutwaya, because she's heavily involved in both those things. It's just she's got a bit of a shady past with regards to FIFA. And we all know where Zimbabwe football is today. The former footballers, the legends of football, and I remember them Charawa, they are really crying about the state of football in Zimbabwe. The fact that Zimbabwe can't play international games. Sadly, Henrietta Fire was appointed FIFA boss around 2007. I don't remember 100%, but shortly after that, less than 10 years later, when she was still around, around 2016, 2017, she was then involved in some max scandal. And then on, I think it's, what's that organization called? Pindula. They've got like a mini Wikipedia kind of thing that they've got going where they profile certain individuals. She was apparently involved in some Limpopo Gate Mexican scandal that they say on their website had been going on for over 6 years, which is what led to her being removed from FIFA. So, I mean, if somebody has got a habit of going to an organization or going to a company or to a place, then messing up to that extent, I would not let that person be in control of pretty much a vital asset in Zimbabwe, which is the gold sector. I would keep that person very far away, because a sector like that, you need people with scruples. And if someone is involved in match fixing, I mean, you can just turn around and you can pretty much understand that the person likely doesn't have it. Yeah.
Well, folks, here we are. YouTube has reportedly or is suspected to have deleted the ambassador at large, Uebert Angel's account. And it is showing a screamer that says it was terminated. And we've been trying to understand what exactly is this? Is it termination, or is just that the ambassador at large just simply got bored and he decided to switch off his account, to just turn it off? Or maybe he is trying to open a new leaf in his life. Maybe he's trying to give himself a new life after the documentary. But I've just been checking here officially as we close, folks. Just going to be reading what YouTube says as the reasons for termination. We're using that term termination. Takushanda neshoko izwi rechirungiro rekuti termination irero. That is different from the common phrase, which is to shut down or to close an account. Number one, reasons why channels or accounts are terminated: repeated violations of the community guidelines or terms of service across any form of content, like repeatedly posting abusive, hateful, or harassing videos or comments. Number two, a case of severe abuse such as predatory behavior, spam, or pornography. Number three, dedication to a policy violation like hate speech, harassment, or impersonation. So these are the three, the three reasons that I've seen here posted on YouTube that says that these are the reasons why YouTube will terminate an account. What do you think, as we shut, folks? What do you think has happened to Uebert Mudzanire's account or Uebert Angel's account tonight? Is it that the preacher shut his account, or he was shut, or he was his lights were switched off? We've been joined on our panel here by one of our analysts, Uebert Mukori. Check out his articles in the public domain on ZimEye, and every day there's not a day that passes without 3 or 4 articles that he throws out there. Follow his articles. We also have here Zimbabwe Freedom of Expression Twitter account, Tabo Makriana, commenting. Follow him also on Twitter and YouTube. You're on YouTube as well, right? Okay.
Yeah, but not really.
Right. You're scared of being terminated. You're scared of being terminated.
We are not used to rule bell breaking. We are used to that.
Folks, thank you very much. We're gonna need to shut. And by the way, folks, we someone is reminding me about hate speech against gays as well. There's a Nigerian preacher called TB Joshua whose account was shut, suspended, I think it was, because of hate speech against the LGBT community. Right. So, viewers, businesses, here we are going to be shutting. But shortly here, there is an article that we published, an investigation about property. These are property scams. There's a property scam called a property scam called Torquay, QOKI. Are you a victim in Torquay? It is a company that was falsely claiming that it is a community interest entity and has been taking money for over 6 or so years, since 2017. It's been taking money from Zimbabweans, claiming that it is securing title deeds for people, houses or something like that in Matabeleland and Midlands. And we have seen here millions of dollars and British pounds that have been looted, and under the false claim that Torquay is a real company, a real community interest company, when that is not the case. It is just someone's private business, and at the same time, people are promised title deeds, and then after that, only to be charged never-ending expenses. So after you have paid for your title deed, and which you'd never get, you are then told to pay for land, right? Sorry, excuse me, for roads. After that, you're told to pay for sewage, pay for water, pay for, like, the payments never get exhausted. And then at the same time, Turkey also has a habit of using one individual for everything. One individual from the council is the architect. He's also the person in charge for conveyancing. He's also the person in charge for like land, every permission, at every stage. One person is there, and people have paid amounts. They've been duped amounts up to 70,000 US dollars per person. Vanhu vakarohwa bhegi heavy, nanesi anonzi Stule Chuma. People know Stule Chuma from Manchester. This article is on Zimai. We're just going to post it here. Are you one of those people? Because we've seen these scams happening. We have another individual who is the wife of the Home Affairs Minister Kazembe in the UK. She duped people over 31 million, and 3 people have already committed suicide under that scam. Vaona vashamisika, vaona kunzi kuti inga takatorohwa mari pana papa. Are you one of those people? We're just going to post here, folks. We're just going to post the article so that we can people can read it. Right. Where are we? Togi. Right. Okay, there it is. I'm just posting it, putting it onto the. Oh my word! Spaces Panapa. What's going on? How come this is refusing for me to post it in Spaces? Right. Let me see if I can post it here on video, folks, and we'll be shutting with it. And yeah. Vanhu varohwa mari vakomana. Uebert vanhu kudiaspora ukoko nenyaya dzekuvharwa kunzi hanzi uyai mutenge land kuzimbabwe, yamutenge land kuzimbabwe. Uebert, don't you understand? I want to get to a stand.
It is really tragic that some of these people are taking advantage of some of the people who are really desperate, and this is really a serious matter. I can't remember whether it's on Zimai or on Blue 24, where there was also a scam of people being told they will get these nest aid positions, and they were being cheated, by a couple in Bulawayo, if I'm not if I remember correctly.
Mhm.
I think this has become so terrible in our society. We take advantage of other people, particularly the most vulnerable. Those people would have sacrificed a lot because they desperately need, land to build their own home, because they know after a while they will have to go back to Zimbabwe. And that was probably their life investment. And then to find, the land is not there, the deeds that we were promised were all a scam. Where do you start? I really feel sorry for those people. But my only advice to Zimbabweans is, you really have got. I don't know. I think one can be clever after the fact, but we need to really begin to um, to be a bit smarter, and double check, find out whether somebody else has known about such people, and that there is something there. Do your own investigation before you pour in more and more money. Um, it is heartbreaking. I really feel sorry for those people who have been cheated. Particularly when you're looking at, they would have worked really hard. I mean, money is not does not grow on trees. So wherever they got the money, they earned it. They worked for it, and then to be cheated like that, I think it's something that Zimbabweans really need to be clever about. Even some of these scams by these church pastors and so forth, it's heartbreaking. No
Hmm.
one should be cheated so readily.
Well, they say the oldest scam is religion. The oldest scam goes back to the Garden of Eden. Religion. Eat this so that you can be better.
Hey
Take
guys,
this so that you can be wiser
my name's Ian.
and you can be safe.
Well, there was a
Hi,
moral
hi,
in that
Ren.
story
We are
then that
about to shut. I don't know how. Yeah. Sorry, Uebert.
no, I was just going to say that the moral of that story in the Bible was that you really need to.
Sorry, Uebert.
You can't hear me. Hello, Siba, can you hear me?
Perfectly. Shoot, I
Yeah,
can hear
no, what
you.
I was saying is the moral of the story in the Bible, like so many other stories in the Bible, is you need to be as cunning as a snake, and as gentle as a dove, as Jesus said when he warned his apostles. You know, I sent you in a world that if you are naive, you definitely will be cheated. You'll be conned again and again. But you need to be smart. You need to be as cunning as a snake, and as gentle as a dove. And I think that is an important lesson for most people to take home today. You know, some of the stories,
I
even
think
not only.
if you were to ask me, Uebert, if you were to ask me, Uebert, my lesson, my take out of that is that you don't feel inadequate. You are enough, even in lack. Where you are, as long as you're a human being, as long as you're a member of the human family, you have arguably all that you need at any given time. Don't allow anyone else to make you feel inadequate. You don't need to eat anything. Don't need to eat any fruit from any tree to become a better person. That's just what I think, what I get out of that. But Wilbert, just before we cut, right? These are bits and pieces of the Torquay company. This is a video from their founding, the day when they were founded, when they launched their program, in which millions have been looted at present.
I'm just sharing with you the success that I've had. I have been blessed, and I just want to bless you.
If somebody here has a problem, click aboard and let it be a total problem.
If we don't change the way we think, if we don't change our perception, really we're wasting our time as a group.
It's the end of the day today. Thanks to Julie for her time. Thanks to Bulelwa for her time. We're so grateful for you guys. We thank you. Thank you so much for attending, and we are so we thank you for everything, and thank you everyone for attending. It was a proper great success. Thank you. We're so grateful, and we do appreciate everyone. Thank you.
Right. So these were the women. That was in 2017, and the women appeared there, happy and not knowing kuti vanga vachivarwa, not knowing kuti they would be crying very soon, kuti vachazenge vakuzozhamba very very soon. We've put the video on the screen here, Zimbabweans the Nation Around the World. We've put the link also on Space here. Do click it and read. It's an article that's taken us a very very long time to investigate, and it's quite comprehensive. It shows you how easy it is that you can lose tens of thousands. You can lose 70,000 US dollars just like that to a scammer, just like that. A scammer who can simply talk well and look well until at the end of the day you discover that you are 70,000, and in fact this time you will be likely 100,000 US dollars poorer. Unenge warowa big. We've got people here typing. Tandon Komo is tagging. Non Tomokozo Izikali. I hope you're bringing, yeah. I hope those are my victims from Togi. Spread around the article. Don't allow anyone to intimidate you or make you feel worthless. I understand a lot of people have been made to feel worthless. They've also been threatened that they will lose their money. No. If you expose a fraudster, you will get your money earlier than before. Call a fraudster who they are, and you will notice that one thing that the article also does is to call it fraud. The article does not stop, it does not apologize, it does not try to use any polite words. It goes straight to calling the crime what it is. It is a fraud, and Stule Chuma has proven to be a fraudster, and her accomplices are all fraud stars. The evidence is there. It is very, very clear. Do you deny? And we have done all the checks that are needed to project and to explain how this fraud was done. Our work here as your news network, Zimbabwe's Nation Around the World, is to give you unadulterated news that we investigate daily to help our community, to strengthen you, and do give us feedback when you can. And the article, by the way, those who are watching on video, let me see, how can I share the article here? I'm wondering, let me just put the link here so people can click it as well. But if you just Google Torquay fraud, just Google Torquay fraud, K-O-K-I, sorry, Q-O-K-I, fraud. You'll be able to read the article. Let me just paste it. Let me paste the link before we shut. Just paste the link here. Oh, where's the article now? I can't find it. Oh dear. Okay. Orgi. Let me just pull it up. I apologize, folks. Oh dear, I apologize. Let me just take it here. Here's the link. Why is this taking time to paste here? Oh, there it is. Okay, here we go. Right, I apologize, folks. Here we go. So here's the article here. Click the link here, read it, share it with your friends, relatives. Don't fall to fraud. Yakadai msavarwe next time. Mukavagwa meno yenyu isu tinenge tisipo. Next time mukaroha ama-Zimbabweans from Midlands and Matabeleland. Next time, if you lose money, don't bother us. Don't disturb us. We have done our best to strengthen you so that you are never fooled again. We're going to be shutting right now. Thank you very much. Those on Twitter Space, please share the tweet, share the video, share the link as well of the article on Stule fraud. Thank you. Stule fraud or Togi fraud. Read that article there and let us converge and exchange. Uebert, thank you for the time. Much appreciated for all your sacrifice tonight.
No, thanks so much, Simba. And thanks for the good work, because I think this is the kind of thing that is really a good service to the community. You know, many people would have fallen for it as well. You know, genuinely thinking that they're buying a piece of land somewhere they can build their own home, and only to find that there's nothing there. So, well done.
Oh, thank you very much, Uebert. We'll be shutting. Much appreciated. Cheers.
Cheers, mate. Thank you. Good night. Good night, listeners.
Thank you.
This is Semi Media, broadcasting all around the world, on the spot, on the